everyone. Welcome back to Primetime Pulse. I'm your host, and today we've got one of those stories that makes you go, huh? A teacher-turned-OnlyFans creator named Courtney Tillia is making headlines for an unexpected reason. She's using her adult career to fund a dog rescue nonprofit in Los Angeles, and she's recently taken things a step further to save more pups. According to the Post, Tillia, who's a married mom, told reporters she hit a point where she decided to stop leaving money on the table and started filming boy-girl scenes with men who aren't her husband. Her words, not mine. I recently said, FK it, and started doing boy-girl porn. There's too many dogs in perilous situations and rescuing costs too much for me to be leaving money on the table. So here's the setup. Tillia originally built an audience doing solo content, some girl-girl scenes, and even content with her husband. But she says the bills for running a rescue, veterinary care, emergency surgeries, sheltering, food, transport. In the last 2 weeks, she released 3 X-rated videos featuring men other than her husband and reportedly pulled in nearly $19,000. That money, she says, goes straight towards saving dogs in dangerous situations around LA. It's a story that sits at an awkward crossroad. The instinct to help vulnerable animals on one side, and the complicated, very public life of an adult performer on the other. People are reacting in all kinds of ways online. Some praise her hustle and her heart, applauding anyone who's willing to do what it takes to save animals in need. Others are uncomfortable or outraged, questioning whether adult work should be used as a charity engine or if there are other routes she could take. Both reactions make sense. This is exactly the kind of gray area human interest piece that makes social media light up. There are a few things worth calling out here. First, animal rescue is expensive. Anyone who's ever fostered a dog knows that one emergency trip to the vet can wipe out a small month's budget. Add in medical treatment for neglected animals, spay and neuter programs, transportation, and the costs of licensing and running a nonprofit. And it's easy to see why Tillia might feel pressure to find high-yield revenue streams. Second, OnlyFans and similar platforms have given creators control over their earnings in a way traditional industries often don't. For some people, including those with causes they care about, that control becomes a tool to funnel money where it's needed most. That said, the personal side is complex. Tillia is married and a mom, and she's changed the types of content she's creating. That's her choice, and it's worth remembering that consenting adults can make decisions about their bodies and careers. At the same time, creators who involve others in their content, especially partners, face a host of personal and relational questions, and public scrutiny can be intense. This story isn't just about clicks and headlines. It's about people making hard choices under pressure. There's also a broader conversation to be had about how society funds charity. Too often, we expect nonprofits and individuals to find creative side hustles to fill gaps in social services. When rescues rely on one-off donations or the income of a single creator to survive, that points to larger failings in how we support animal welfare. People like Tillia are admirable for stepping up, but ideally, rescues wouldn't be dependent on controversial or unstable income sources to keep life-saving programs running. So where does this leave us? Courtney Tillia is clearly trying to do good. She's started a nonprofit, she's raising substantial funds, and she's focused on saving dogs in peril. The method she chose is unconventional and polarizing, but it's also effective in the short term. The long-term questions about sustainability, the ethics of monetizing sex work for charity, and how communities should support rescues are still very much open. We'll keep an eye on this story as it develops. For now, whether you're cheering her on, shaking your head, or somewhere in the middle, it's a reminder that people's lives and motivations are rarely simple. If this story sparks anything for you, opinions, questions, thoughts on how rescues should be funded, drop it in the comments. I want to hear what you think. If you like this kind of oddball celebrity meets humanitarian news, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss our next breakdown. Catch you next time.